I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. I am Melissa Meli, the spy.
I'm Tyler Riley, cop and a half.
And I'm Tristan Miller, the saucy sleuth. Today's program is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/adcpod and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/adcpod. Okay. We watched Poirot. We're back on our Poirot quick.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We watched an episode of the television show Agatha Christie's Poirot. Okay. Yes, and I did not watch on YouTube like I have.
Oh, really?
A couple of them. I was with my boyfriend, Rich, and he's like, Melissa, just download BritBox. And he's like, and I said, I don't know who's signed in. He's like, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Could I tell you?
Just download it.
If you get charged for it, you can write it off on your taxes as a creative person.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely on his, but that's fine. It's like $6.99 a month.
Yeah.
He watches them too.
But I will be writing it off on mine.
You should.
There you go.
Fun bit of business about this episode is it's based off of an adaptation of Murder on the Muse, which is an anthology series in England, but in America it's just the novel.
No.
Yes.
How amusing.
Oh, son of a... Yeah, in the UK it's Murder on the Muse, this one, and a couple others. That's all.
Oh.
Yep.
How interesting.
Yusk.
Or like Murder in the News, because it came in a newspaper, right?
A periodical, I believe.
I haven't heard that word in a long time. Periodical.
Yeah, as the name suggests, comes out all at once. Just like Chaboy.
Okay. Way to frame your birth, but...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. That's good.
What you've just seen here is in the improv, we call that giving a gift and a justification. And thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a gift of a kind. Yeah.
The gift of birth.
The gift of birth.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is called... Did we do this already?
No? The
Incredible...
Sorry, listeners.
The Incredible Theft.
It's episode 8, I believe, of season 1?
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
We're almost through series 1.
Amazing.
Yeah. For our American listeners, which is probably all of you, I think at this
I would say
point.
95.
Oh, we have a couple
we have
of
a
international.
We have a couple.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
In the
All
UK and Canada and one, like, Brazil or something?
Neat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hi, international listeners. We appreciate you. We like our American people, too. It's just more surprising when people that we don't know listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, yes, series is what they call a season.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the UK. Yeah. So, anyway, but yes, this is episode 8, and I think then it's 9, 10, and we're done with this one.
Yeah.
And then we just have like 10 more series to go.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, boy.
But a varying episode length. Like, some seasons are like 6 episodes in a series.
Oh, I thought you
and
meant
some of them
like
have
the
like
runtime.
9. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Okay.
But
Great.
this episode starts off in the most amusing way, to me, at least. It starts off, we see this man waiting outside a hangar.
Oh,
an
yeah.
airplane hangar.
Yeah.
And he just looks like a problem off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Very shady character.
And this man rolls up in a car. He gets out. They greet each other. And on, like, the hangar, you see the word Mayfield.
Yeah. Is how
and
it
the guy,
looks.
like, it's like, hello, George. And the guy's like, hello, Mayfield. And it's like, oh, for
Yeah.
Zoop Dolores' sake.
Yeah.
It's really.
Yeah.
Also, the next line, I believe, is just, show me.
Yeah.
It's very ominous. Ooh.
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, when two older white men
Yeah.
basically are doing
Yeah.
Doing business.
in business, I just get real suspicious at this point.
There's this great show on HBO called Succession.
Mm-hmm.
And between that and Mad Men and like all these dramas about business, I'm like, oh, most people are very curt. I forget this.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we have stuff to do. Can we do the stuff, please?
That are not named Kurt, usually.
No,
which is also pretty interesting.
How many Kurts can you name?
Russell.
Vonnegut.
Engel.
Brunholder.
Who?
He's a comedian.
Oh.
Wagner, the Nightcrawler from X-Men.
Okay. Cool.
Curtis.
Veal. Like Weill, composer.
Oh, yeah.
Where's it file?
I think that file.
Okay.
Terrible. Curtis.
did Tristan, did you just like think of a joke, dismiss it immediately,
Yeah.
and say terrible?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
absolutely.
Oh, I thought you heard vile and we're like terrible.
And
like,
that's
as
what
word
the
play.
joke I dismissed
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. It was a
Got
double
it.
whammy. Anyway, so there's this airplane that they look at.
Yes,
Yes.
it is a toy airplane that fits people. It looks like it does not look like a real airplane. It looks like
I thought you meant in the context.
It is a real airplane. Like it shoots things.
sure it shoots things, but it looks like a plastic toy
Yes,
that they
that
blew
is
up
fair.
with a ray gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kestrel.
Yes, the kestrel, which sounds like
Like a Harry Potter creature.
yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
bird.
No.
No, like a Harry Potter creature.
Like the Thestrals, the...
Like the Thestrals, yeah, exactly.
but a kestrel is a type of bird.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. It's a
Oh.
very small bird.
How do you know this?
Because I took a bird watching class. Don't attack me.
You took a bird watching class?
So your homeschool was weird.
Yeah, it was. My
I need
mom
to
was
know
just
more
bored. It's
about
like,
this
look at bird.
immediately. Is that right?
Well, yeah, there was a community center in Rochester, Minnesota, and you could do a bird watching class, and we had a bird watching guidebook, stuff like that. I know about birds, and I know something about plants, but it's not really applicable in New York City. But anyway, this plane
Yeah.
So-
a kestrel.
You just contain multitudes.
of useless information.
Yeah. You
Yes.
never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, there's a plane.
Yes,
First
and
scene.
it's very light, very powerful, and they're trying to patent it for the United Kingdom Secret Service, I believe, something like that, or the Army, Air Force, I guess.
Armed forces, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something to do with the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this episode, we kind of are seeing tensions building up around, like, I think pre-World War II
Yes.
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very much overtones of that. Anywho, so yeah, plane shoots things, cut to the next scene. And it's Poirot, right? I didn't
Yeah.
skip
Shining
anything.
them shoes.
Shining his shoes and talking to Hastings about the benefits of patent leather.
Yeah.
Of caring for it.
She used petroleum jelly to like really get in there
Yeah.
so that your shoes don't crack. I'm like,
Does that
okay.
work?
I have no idea.
Huh.
And then poor Hastings, whose love life mirrors my own, is just talking about being involved with this person that is just never available.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So he's like, well, I have to think of things to talk with her about. And I go over to her place, but she's never there. Her mom always is.
Yeah, and he just has tea
Are you
with their
dating the
mother.
mom accidentally?
Yeah, it's like,
Is he gonna...
oh, friend, this girl doesn't want to see you anymore.
Yeah.
Wait, is that what that means?
Oh, no.
Excuse me for a
Tyler.
moment.
Well, you
Quick
go.
text to send.
Oh no.
Are we good? But yeah, he's bummed out, and then a lady keeps calling Miss Lemon on the office line.
An anonymous woman.
Yeah, and not leaving her name, and she's like, "Well, I told her to bug her off, essentially."
Yeah.
And then Poirot is like, "But why?"
Yeah. And he says something like, the anonymous phone calls are the most important.
But it seems like this is like a frequent caller that just keeps changing her name from what Miss Lemon was saying,
Yeah.
which is also baffling.
Well, she's
Sure.
a crank yanker, you see.
Oh, yeah.
She's
The
a
early advent of the crank yankers.
yeah.
It was Wanda Sykes the whole time.
Oh, if only.
Okay.
They decide to meet at this neutral territory that's not a gym. And so they meet by the penguin exhibit.
Yes.
Yeah, and he looks like a little penguin. He looks like he should be in.
Yeah, Poirot, yes.
Yeah.
And so they meet, and he's like looking around at this woman that's like clearly like staring at him. And
Yeah,
he's
very
like weirded
subtle.
out.
Yes.
So he starts to walk away, and she follows, and then she grabs him and is like, Monsieur Poirot? He's like, but you are not wearing a green carnation.
Yeah.
How dare you? It's just like,
I am carrying the newspaper, as I said I would.
These things must be, you have to, yeah.
very particular.
Yeah.
And she starts in and tells him about what's going on, and she starts with, okay, well, you know, this woman keeps coming over and hanging out with my husband. And Poirot's like, nope, I don't do this kind of thing.
I'm good, thanks.
I'm not into the domestic squabbles. I only like death.
I will, a man after my own heart. I will also say there's this very interesting thing about the zoo that I had to think about. Like, they had to make that zoo look like it was of the correct time. So, like, I don't, like, it's not, I'm sure had to, like, outfit the they had to outfit the sconces and so forth. And I was like, how much effort did the art department have to go through just to make the zoo not look like a modern zoo?
Or did they just find a really old zoo that had not been updated?
We Bought an Old Zoo is my favorite sequel to We Bought a Zoo. Next to Zootopia. A lot of people don't know Zootopia is actually...
Is it zoo?
It's a sequel to I Bought a Zoo?
Yeah, it's 30,000 years in the future when animals have taken over, but it is Matt Damon's zoo. Still. They all worship Matt Damon. We don't see it in the film.
Well, thank God I'm extinct at that point.
Yeah.
Don't want to be around for the Matt Damon worship.
Not here for it.
No, absolutely not.
This is an Affleck household.
Oh, yikes. On bikes. Okay. That's me scooting away on my Vespa from this conversation.
You need to take that in.
Yeah.
It sounds broken.
My motorized scooter just sounds like Adam Sandler. Okay, so we cut back to the two old white guys, right? At this point,
Probably.
after she's like, "Please help," and
Aren't they at a party now? Or like a
Not yet. They're inside, like the party is starting, but we're not at the party.
she mentions to Poirot it's like a matter of national security, and then he's like, "Okay, I will go into it." Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, right. So I clearly don't remember this scene.
Yeah, it's not really that important. Like, it's just white men doing business.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to...
Then we cut to this garden party looking thing.
And how very English. How very, very English.
Oh my goodness. It's the best. Okay. So, we see the lady that Poirot meets at the zoo. Poirot's there. And the two old white men. And there might be others. It's hard to tell.
They don't matter.
They don't.
They really don't.
And then this woman comes in and wearing this silver dress.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oof.
The greatest entrance.
And she says, "Oh, how very English." And so it's her first, is it her first line?
That's her first line.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she is obviously a British woman trying to do an American accent.
That's very funny.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's such a bad accent. It's real bad.
Can I tell you, my favorite thing about when English people do American accents is the fact that a lot of the times they're very good, but then you look at their mouth and how they're over enunciating so much, it's hysterical. Like, if you ever see Jude Law try to do like a standard American, it's all mouth. It's just terrible.
So much mouth.
Mm-hmm. All mouth and forehead.
Yeah.
So they're at this party, and the two men are wandering about in the garden, and the guy's like, "Oh, I saw something near the office." The other guy's like, "No, you're foolish."
Well, prior to that,
Okay,
they
Richard, prior
find.
to that.
I'm gonna just call her Miss Silver because I don't remember her name.
Yeah, the American lady,
Yeah.
in quotes, with the silver dress.
Yes. She's
And
like
I
skulking around the house. It's
right.
It's now night.
Sure. Because the party, nothing interesting happens.
Yeah. She's
Well, it's an
skulking
English
around.
party, you
it's
see.
At night. You are cruising for a bruising.
Between the two of you, yeah, you're like, I don't know why, like, okay, I want my friends to be mad at me today. All right.
Skulking around. It's at night. She like wanders into Mayfield's office.
Mm-hmm.
Just remembered his name. Mayfield's office, and is like scurrying around his desk. And then, like, I guess she accidentally hits a light switch or something. Because she gets seen by the two gentlemen walking outside.
Yeah. Right.
And she's like, "Oh, I just forgot my purse."
Oopsies.
I was like, what was your
Nothing
purse doing in the
suspicious.
office, and why is nobody questioning that? But anyway.
Yeah, it's a really bad lie. Yeah, her name is Mrs. Vanderlyn.
I like Miss Silver better.
Yeah, Miss Silver. Miss Silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Hastings, by the way, is sitting, like, has these little weird meetings with Poirot.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the best thing in the entire episode. And he's sitting, like, outside on the steps. And he's like, I don't know why I can't just go in. I guess I wasn't invited to the party.
He's such a sad sack in
I
this
know.
episode.
And then he's staying in a little inn nearby and, like, finding out information. And his roommate is Inspector Japp.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Bedmate.
Yes.
Yeah, they're sharing a
Which makes
bed.
all of the Japp Hastings fan fiction I've written all the stronger.
Of course. Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's real weird. But yeah, it's kind of a charming little, you got the main story, and then we go outside for some Hastings time. And
yeah, it's very fun, and it's very strange, and I love it a lot, because you just like, it feels like they're briefly in a rom-com, and he's like the friend that's put upon. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Some very fun acting going on in this episode.
Yep.
But basically, the two men get to their office, and a bit of paper is missing that's very important. And Poirot shows up in the most terrifying manner possible. They leave the door open, by the way, idiots. They leave the door open, and Poirot his silhouette appears, and he's like, perhaps Poirot can be of his assistance. And they're all like, "Ah!"
You can easily recut any Poirot episode and make him look like a serial killer.
Yeah, for sure. Easily.
I love to solve murders so much, I am creating them.
Oh my gosh.
What a gritty reboot that would be.
Yeah, right.
Starring the mascot Gritty as Poirot.
Gritty with the mustache.
Oh my goodness.
Cursed image. Okay.
So they're trying to figure out. They're asking the servant, like, well, did you forget to put it out? He's like, no, I did put this page on top. It's very important. I remember. And they're going through. And at one point, my boyfriend turns to me and he's like, there's a fan in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The paper just blew away. No one did it.
Yeah.
Which is not what happened.
I had that thought. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good red herring. Whoever wrote this episode.
Yeah.
We're just gonna put a fan in there to throw everybody off. Oh my
Fan
goodness.
did it.
The fan did it.
Could you imagine?
I know, right? For a second, because also, Rich is infuriatingly accurate when he makes guesses like that. So often we'll be watching something that neither of us have ever seen, and he's just like, this is gonna happen, and then it does, and I'm like, let the story unfold. It's okay. I'm starting to find it charming most of the time.
What happens next? They're missing the plans for the plane. That's what's the important
That's the
piece of
paper.
paper. And then they suspect Mrs. Silver.
Yeah, and they have her. She gets arrested, but then they can't find any evidence, and then
Yeah, so let her
they
go.
release her, and she's very put upon.
Of course.
And there's very
Poirot
good
at one
hats.
point-
There
Sorry.
are very large.
I just
and
wanted
good
to
hats.
say the hats are great. Sorry, continue.
Oh, you're good. Poirot, like when Miss Silver is being suspected,
Mm-hmm.
is very emphatic that she didn't do it, like that she didn't take
Yeah.
the paper.
I did not.
Yeah. That was very
was-
Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were just making fun of her bad
Oh no.
dialect.
no.
Yeah, a little bit of
It works
color.
for
A little bit of both. It does.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah,
A little bit of column A
And
and
then
column B.
we see Poirot and Hastings like having breakfast or lunch. They're sharing a meal somewhere.
Yeah, this cute little inn.
Yeah. Which, like, now I'm hungry.
I know.
Yeah, I want egg.
Yeah.
I want an egg.
I could do like a really good salmon Benedict somewhere.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, Sam Benedict Cumberbatch.
You've succeeded in making me mad.
That was the thing.
Bows
That was-
deeply.
That was.
Good night, everybody. Podcast is closed. The podcast store is closed today. We had a great run.
And for posterity, the thing that did it was Salmon Benedict Cumberbatch. Crab cake Benedict.
Now I'm thinking of like a Mr. What is that? What is that movie where Don Knotts gets turned into a fish?
The Incredible Mr. Limpet.
Yeah, but with Benedict Cumberbatch's face.
And I'm mad again.
Does Benedict Cumberbatch just make you mad?
I think so.
He did say this
Interesting.
weird thing about colored people, which I don't enjoy.
What, he did?
Yeah, he's clearly old money and doesn't know
Yeah.
proper
Oh,
vocabulary.
no.
Yeah, he's very wealthy and always has been, you see. That's why he could afford elocution lessons as a child.
And that's why he was the legitimate worst in 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, because you knew it was real.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Woof. There wasn't much racism in this episode, was there? Oh, no, I'm kidding. I just remembered.
Oh, I missed the racism.
How
No,
did you
no.
miss the racism?
I wasn't paying attention. I was
It's
updating my
actually
website.
in this scene that we're about to talk about.
Oh,
No,
let's
it
do-
also happens much earlier as well.
Oh, no.
At the garden party.
Of course it does. What am I saying?
As soon
It's
as
just-
Poirot speaks, they say something about like foreigners. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, xenophobia then.
If we're going to split hairs.
Yeah. Sorry, I assumed you meant like there's like I thought
Slurs being thrown
yeah,
about.
yeah, or something like that. That's why I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But
In
yeah.
the books, I'm sure, but like in the TV, they keep it pretty,
Yeah.
PG racist.
Yep.
Yeah. It's only PG racist.
But yeah, they call him a frog at one point, which is not a term of endearment.
not
Nor is
great.
it accurate because he's from Belgium, not France.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm dropping
I'm
so
sorry,
much knowledge.
I don't see amphibians.
We're all reptiles in God's eyes.
Oh, boy. But yes, they're talking about, they're in this place having good breakfast, and apparently we need to get brunch later. And they, Hastings does say that he's heard Inspector Japp talking about, that's what it is, maybe? Yes?
Yeah.
Talking about how Mayfield had been helping the Japanese
Ooh.
with some airplanes or something
Yeah.
previously. So yeah, and that is when we actually do get a slur from Hastings.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't recall that. I missed
Oh,
that somehow.
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And I was like, mwah.
Mwah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Maybe that's why Homegirl won't return your calls.
Yeah.
Check your racism at the door.
Yeah.
There is a great scene though with Jap where he's looking for evidence and he's with like two other police officers and he's trying to open a box and it won't open and no one is helping him and he gets frustrated and then a plant falls down. He's an idiot in this episode. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, so we learned that bit of information.
Yes.
And then they go back to the house?
No, Poirot needs to walk.
Oh yeah,
Right.
he walks back to the
Yeah.
house, and Hastings zooms off and is
In
fast.
his car that he loves so much.
Yeah, he reminds me of Mr. Toad sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Hastings needs to get the plugs changed or the sparks or something like that.
Yeah.
The spark plugs change?
Sure. There's car things.
I know about cars. I know about birds. I know about xenophobia. I'm from South Dakota. Deal with it.
Oh goodness. Yes. And then what is the triggering thing? Because Hastings is having his car fixed in a place, and then we see this scene of Miss Silver getting into a car with and then the servant comes out and hands her this red suitcase, briefcase.
Suspicious.
Like, it's very dramatically framed. And then the servant puts a letter on this little silver tray. And then she speeds off. Well, the driver speeds off. Her driver speeds her off in the car. And then Poirot has a light bulb moment. And is like, oh gosh, we need to get going. We need to get going right now. And Hastings is like, my car, an hour. And so they take a police car. They get into a police car. They just steal it.
Yeah.
And
Shoot, here we go again.
yeah. and speed on after her. And then we have the slowest car chase scene I've ever seen in my life.
Well, this is the prequel to Let's Be Cops with Damon Wayans Jr.
Oh, okay.
I love it because they make a big fuss about like puddles being in the road. It's very funny. It's
Oh my
so
goodness.
silly.
And there's like no one else on the road except for like this one farmer's truck that has a person in it that like blocks the way for a little. It slows her down for a little bit, so they almost catch up. But like other than that, there are no other cars on the road, and they're driving at like 40 miles an hour, maybe.
It's like topped out. At
Yeah.
those speeds.
I guess, but my goodness, it was ridiculous looking.
Also, I love this idea that like Hastings is like a speed racer level of good at driving because he's like drifting and he's like cruising. I'm like, oh, it's not just talk. Great, it's not a Jay Leno situation. Coming for you, Jay.
Dang.
Goodness.
No, I can race pretty well. That's all I got.
Yeah. At some point, Rich commented like, "Oh, he's handling himself really well." Until the end, when he's like, "What is he doing?"
I also love how they cut to his hands driving, so it's clear that like Hugh Fraser is not driving the vehicle during that time, where he's like,
Yeah.
It's like that scene in the opening of The Simpsons, where Maggie's supposed to drive the car.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But then they don't catch up to her in time. She pulls up to this house, and there is a sign that says "Home of the German Ambassador."
I know.
And it's like, that is not a real sign anywhere.
Nope.
And the gates open. She hands them the red briefcase, and then they do the Heil sign.
Ooh.
And
yikes.
it's rough. And Poirot and Hastings see it. Anyway.
Can I tell you
Yeah.
the gate situation? They have like a land, like what is it? It's just like a stone wall. Happy Pride Month. A stone wall next to the gate, which makes it really easy to just jump on the stone wall, walk 2 feet, and then jump down again to avoid the gate situation. I'm like, well, this isn't secure in any way.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Well, it's not the German embassy. It's just the home of the German ambassador.
That's fair. That's fair.
Biggest sign engraved.
In The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under,
Yes.
was there an ambassador hound?
No, because they were all like smaller animals, but that's a very good portmanteau.
Yeah, I like that.
That's very, very cute.
I saw a basset hound on my way here. It was the only good part of my commute. It was amazing.
They're so like, oh.
They're so great.
Yes.
Even when they're they're puppies. They look like little old men. I love them. And their ears go down to the floor.
I love the Basset Hound in the Aristocats. Because he's in a bassinet, which I think is very good.
Basset Hound and Bassinet. Love it.
And Angela Bassett Fattens are called Basset Hounds.
Oh, that's very fun. I want to be in a bassinet.
We can make that happen.
What?
Daddy wants to be a baby. So what happens at the end of this episode, please?
Oh, boy. See, okay. I know we got a yes and. I know we got a yes and.
You don't have to. You can go, no, because.
But then you pull things out like that. What does happen at the end of this episode? Oh, okay. So, the letter's gone missing from the silver tray.
Poof.
And Rich says, Poirot took it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, we'll see. Guess what? He did. So, yeah, we go back into the house. They're disappointed that they didn't catch her. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. She got away. So, but then Poirot puts everything together as he is wont to do. Why did he take the letter, though? I forget. What was in the letter?
It was the
Blackmail
letter.
Yeah.
And it was written in Japanese. And it's just
yes.
Oh.
But signed by
Mayfield.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
so
that's
back.
how they connect that she was blackmailing him into doing her bidding.
Yeah.
She was blackmailing him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Anyway, rewinding a moment. So, turns out, ad break.
You heard her. It's an ad break. Hi, this is Tristan, the saucy sleuth, here with some advertisements. I'm mostly just letting you know what's going on. You can go to teespring.com to purchase our merch there. We have coffee mugs, stickers, and shirts. They're great. You can go to patreon.com/TristanJMiller to support this podcast directly, as well as 2 others that I do that you can check out there. And also, we're on the Scavengers Network. You can check out great programs such as Myth Takes and Historical Hotties, on which both Melissa and myself have been guests. Just on Historical Hotties, that is. We're going to be doing some more Poirot. We're not going to do a novel this month just because we didn't have time, quite frankly. But we're doing more TV episodes, and we're going to try and do some more bonus content. It's been really difficult getting everyone's schedules together just because we're all doing shows and plays, and I'm doing stand-up, and Tyler and Melissa are doing Shakespeare because it's Shakespeare season here in New York. You can follow both of them, Melissa at Melissa J. Meli, to see when she's performing, and at It's Tyler Riley to see when he's performing, and me at Tristan J. Miller 1 to see when I'm performing. Without further ado, let's get back to the program.
It turns out that Mayfield himself was behind it the whole time.
Zut alors.
So,
that reminded me, there's a very fun moment when they're chasing after Silver Dress Girl, where Poirot does say Allons-y. I was like,
oh yeah,
it's like the doctor.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it turns out he knew that she was going to get a hold of this thing, of this letter, this piece of paper with all this information on it. So he basically put together a fake one. And so that they would spend 6 months at least trying to work it out until they realized that it was the wrong one. So it was a plant. Because she was blackmailing him, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. She was blackmailing him about the Japanese involvement that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Is that it?
Yep. That's
it.
That's it.
But it's well, we'll get into it.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can get into it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I said ad break.
Well, excuse me. I didn't know if we were going to just anybody had any final thoughts about the final frame of the episode before I jumped in on my...
Sure. No, yeah. That makes sense. Gosh, we were all so like... We're so saucy today.
Yeah. I like it.
You would.
I'm the saucy sleuth.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's it.
Yeah.
How dumb is, like, the... How dumb is the plant, though? Like, the Germans are known for their engineering. You think they can't just figure it out?
That's true.
Like,
they did invent
they'll
tanks.
Get to it, like, 6 months and be like, oh, this equation's wrong. Let's just make this that thing.
Oh,
and
that's
just,
true.
like, come on. Like, they're gonna have that figured out. Like, give the Germans some credit.
Also, fair enough, but, like, hopefully it kind of delays them enough.
Also,
well, we know what happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
Also, like, were the Japanese and the Germans allies at this point? Because the whole delay is like them and...
No, not at this point.
No. But I'm sure they could also just track down someone from Japan that would be like, oh yeah, I'll translate this for you. Like, I mean, that can't be that hard.
Well, I don't think the Japanese had anything to do with this particular plane, though. I think it was things in the past that he had done.
But the letter was in Japanese. I thought that was what...
Yeah, it was a blackmail letter from his previous involvement.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I got confused.
Yeah.
What do you rate this one?
This is out of a 5 or 10.
5 for the little
sure.
episodes.
I'll give it 3 in a chaplain.
All right.
Not my favorite. Kind of got a little boring in patches. The costumes were great. I love seeing some penguins.
Very, very dope fits from everyone involved.
Except that silver dress was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I liked it.
Oh.
All right. You're allowed to be wrong.
And we've come full circle.
Uh-huh.
We just keep passing that book around.
Yeah.
No one makes any money. I give it a 2. It was fine. Could not hold my attention very well, which is why I'm like, what happened? Which is neither here nor there. Probably more on me than the episode, quite frankly.
It happens occasionally.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I more than average enjoyed it. Like, hence the 3.5. 3 being average. And just Poirot and Hastings were so on point in this episode. I mean...
You nasty, Tyler. You nasty.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
What did I say? I don't even... like
3 being average, that's all. You nasty.
Okay, fine. So, yeah, I had opinions, and it doesn't matter.
Oh.
More.
No,
Thanks
for noticing.
Right, exactly. Love to Eeyore. So, I always take... Yeah, I always take out points for racism. Yeah. And I take out points for not having a murder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can I tell you, it does feel very low stakes when it's just like, oh boy, I gotta find this piece of paper.
Yeah.
What the paper means, though, raises the stakes.
Yeah, but I need like something tangible.
Like a death. Like a human corpse.
Exactly.
I don't always need that, because sometimes murder means murder for Christmas.
That's true. Oh.
Well, never forget.
That's it?
Oh. There was... You take out points for racism?
I do.
Because I put them in.
I do too. Because like that... Hear me out.
Folks, mine was a joke. We'll see about it.
I at least appreciate the fact that they are being true to the period.
Ah, I see.
That it was like, hey, this was a problem. And they don't try to mask it. So I appreciate it.
That's fair.
You know, if like they were like, dropping slurs left and right, that would be an
Sure.
issue. But I like that they at least give some color to the, to the period that we're in.
No. Okay, fair enough. However, when Poirot or Hastings are the culprits, I can't get behind it because they're supposed to be the good guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair, but
I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all agree though that Hastings is a dunderhead.
Oh yeah, that's the perfect description.
He's not a bad guy, but he's like Michael Scott. He's like so self-involved, but he means well, but he's bad at it.
Is that where they got the name Dunder Mifflin from?
Perhaps.
I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to a close.
Gavel sound.
Boy.
Ooh.